Okay, I hope you have downloaded that Unity package that is shared on Discord. So open Unity Hub, and click on New Project. And select 3D Core. It is selected by default, and you can name your project whatever you want. I am naming it Player Controller, and create project. You are done? Created? Okay. So I hope the steps are quite simple. Open Unity Hub, click on New Project, select 3D, and name your project. Create new project. That's all. Okay. After that, once it opens, so click on Assets, Import Package, Custom Package. Okay, and then go to the place where your Unity package is there, and double click, open that. So you need to import Unity package, and it will ask you to select all the things that you want to import. It checks everything by default, so let it be as it is. Just say import. Okay, so this much is done. What about you people? Done? Imported the package? Okay. Yeah, those who came quickly, open Unity Hub, or just see the steps. You can just see and follow. Open Unity Hub, say new project, and 3D. 3D is selected by default. Give a name to your project and create new project. Once that is done, Unity will open. In that, go to Assets, Import Package, Custom Package, and wherever you store the Unity package, go to that place and open that Unity package. Okay, so that's all you need to do. So once that is done, so here you see scenes in Assets. You see scenes. Sample scene is this one. Whatever you are seeing, this is sample scene. This is there in almost every package by default. That is, there's nothing in this scene. You just have camera and light. Okay, but what we want is a different scene. So click on prototype 1. So you get, so you get this scene with road. So let me make some space for this. So you get this scene with road, some hills, some sky, stars, all those things. Okay. Okay, first do this much. I'll pause meanwhile. So are you done? So there are multiple ways of doing it. You can directly drag the camera, in a free way, directly behind the vehicle with your mouse. But again, we are not sure whether it is exactly aligning with the vehicle or not. So another way is you drag it along one axis at a time. Right? Even here we are not sure whether it is aligned with the axis or not. So the simple thing I would do is just use these coordinates. We know that currently, let's make first x and y 0, okay, and z say some negative number, say -10, okay. So it is exactly behind the vehicle, okay, and then increase its height. So make y maybe 5 units up, okay, and now let's look at it from a different view, from the side view. Okay, yeah, this is where I want the camera. Now I want to rotate it. Okay, so let's click on rotate, and yeah, so I just need to rotate it along YZ axis. But it is not looking okay. First, even before rotating that side, I need to rotate the camera this side, right? So first, let me go to the top view and let me rotate it like this. Okay. Yeah. Or I can just make this rotation angle here 0 with Z. Okay. And yeah, I think it is placed well. I can move it a little close. Instead of -10, I can say -5. And then I tilt it further. So this rotation, what if I do no, sorry. Z. No, should I change X? Okay. Okay. Camera should look below, no? No. Okay. Yeah. Let's make it a little more. A little between. Okay. Okay, this is fine. I think I can move it a little behind. No, 6. No, I think this is fine. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. Okay. So, yeah, so now if you press the play button, you will see the vehicle from behind. Okay, correct view. This is what we want. Okay, now you can also sort of adjust the entire Unity interface itself how you want. Suppose I want to see both the scene view and the game view always while developing. Rather than this small window, what I can do is I can click on this tab, drag this to wherever I want. So I can drag this to the side so that I can see game view and scene view beside each other, or I can drag this below scene view and game view. Okay, so I can do this any way I want. So suppose I did this. Now on top I see scene view, below I see game view. Okay, that is one way. Or I can drag it to the side so that I can see both of them side by side. Or even here on top right, you see a button called layout. Okay, here you have some default options. You can try multiple layout options like 2 by 3. Okay, this is one layout, right? Or 4 split option. This is useful for 2D games. So for 3D games, 4 split is not that useful. Or tall option. Okay, so here what we can do, we can drag game here so that it is visible half and reduce these two panels. Okay, and here these are this looks very lacking in space. So here also we can change the layout by making it one column layout. Okay, so now this looks a little more neat. All right, yeah. So up to you. You can also save this layout and give it some name. It's like my layout. Okay, so whenever you want to come to this layout, you can just select my layout. Okay, yeah. So let me save this. Okay, now let's add some animation, let's add some motion to the vehicle. Okay, okay, so to add motion, how it should move, basically all kinds of interactions among objects you need to add through scripts. Okay, so to add motion to this vehicle, we need to write that in script. I don't know if you remember in the last class we discussed cubes rotation, right? We had a start function, we had an update function. In the update function we wrote how the cube should rotate, by how much angle it should rotate, by along what axis it should rotate. In this case, we just want the vehicle to go in a straight line. So we have to specify that also in a script in update function. So first we need to create a script. For that, first you create a folder called scripts in the project panel. Okay, so in the project panel, right click, create folder and name it scripts. Okay, now in scripts, right click, create C# script. Are you following? Okay, and name this script player controller. Ensure that you give a proper name in the beginning itself. Later if you rename the file, it may create some problems. Whatever name you want to give that name while creating the script itself. Okay, so I'm calling it player controller script. Okay, press enter. It will give a basic template by default. Okay, now this so-called player controller is an independent script. It is not controlling any specific object right now. Okay, what we want to do is we want to associate this script with the player object, that is the truck. Okay, so how to do that? Now in the hierarchy, select vehicle. Okay, actually you can also rename this. Here you see the name here. I just say vehicle and it is renamed. Okay, so select vehicle, and now from this script, whatever script you created, drag it onto the inspector panel of the vehicle. So go to the bottom of the vehicle's inspector panel and drag this script here. Yeah, you see it got added. So this script got added to the panel itself. If you find dragging this script to the panel difficult, okay, let me show it in a different way. I am deleting here, remove component, I remove the script. You directly drag it onto the vehicle object in the hierarchy panel. Okay, drag it here. You can drag this script directly onto the vehicle object. Why is it not getting added? Okay. Yeah, it got added. Yeah, when this is actually getting highlighted, it's getting added. I mean, yes. Yeah, yeah. Another way is, third way, I'm showing you third way. Just click on this add component and here you need to select scripts and player controller. This is another way of adding. So there are three ways of adding. Either first select the game object, go to the inspector panel, go to the bottom of the inspector panel, and then from the scripts panel, drag the script onto the inspector panel of the game object. That is one way. Second way is from the script panel, drag the script directly onto the game object in the hierarchy panel. Third way is in the inspector panel of the game object, click add component and select scripts and select the particular script you want to add. Okay. Now this script is associated with this object. So whatever you write in this script, that will affect this object. Okay. So now let's open the script. So double click on this. It will automatically open it in VS Code. Okay. So it is giving a basic template. It has already included Unity engine namespace, and it has created a class with the name, with the file name that you created. Player controller is the file name that you gave. It names this class with exactly that name only. Okay. And this class inherits from mono behavior. We discussed mono behavior is a class in Unity's hierarchy. It is deriving from behavior class, inheriting from behavior class. Behavior class itself is inheriting from component class. Component class is inheriting from object class. Anyway, you will understand that the more examples you work out. Okay, and within this, within every code, you will have two functions, start and update. Okay, start is run at the beginning. It will basically set things up, and then update is run for every frame. Okay, so in this case, what do we want to do? We want to move the vehicle, which means it should be done in every frame, which means it should be given in the update function, not the start function. Start function is just positioning the vehicle, which we already did. So we need not write anything in the start function. It can be left empty. In the update function, we want to move the vehicle. Okay, so to move the vehicle, there is a function called transform. It is not coming in the suggestions. I don't know, in autocomplete it's not coming. I could not find how to make it appear. In case any of you found that out, let me know. Okay, Unity functions are still not visible in autocomplete, at least to me. I did not find how to do that yet. So transform dot translate. Translate is T capital. Okay. So here what we want to do, we want to translate it, linear translation, linear motion along a particular axis. Okay. So along which axis we want the vehicle to move? Z axis, right? So it should not move along X axis or Y axis. So we can say 0, 0, say 1. It should move with speed 1. Okay. Now let us go back to Unity. It will update automatically. And now let's click the play button. It's gone in a jiffy. It's like it went like flash. Okay. So can you tell me why it is going so fast, although I gave just a simple number 1? 1 is like a very small number. Why is it going so fast for 1 itself? Yeah. We discussed last time in the context of cube. Rotation. Yeah, so whatever number you are giving here, that number is not per second. Basically, one more thing, in Unity, each unit is equivalent to 1 meter. So when we say the position of the obstacle is 0, 0, 25, it means it is 25 meters away from the vehicle. Okay. Similarly, here what we are saying is move 1 meter at a time, but it is not taking this as 1 meter per second. It is taking this as 1 meter per frame. Okay, and within 1 second you have 24 frames, or even in games much more, 60 frames and so on. So it is basically going 100 meters and 160 meters in 1 second. So we want to convert it to a distance which is amicable to the distance between 2 consecutive frames. Since I don't know the exact frame rate, I will use an inbuilt function. What is that inbuilt function? Not FPS. In the last class I discussed. Not function, inbuilt parameter. What was that?
Time.
Yeah, time. Time dot delta time. So this will give me the time elapsed between 2 frames. So this will scale down my distance into according to the time elapsed between 2 frames. Okay. So if I have to cover 1 meter in 1 second, I have to cover 1 by 24 meters in 1 frame, because there are 24 frames per second. If there are 60 frames per second, I have to cover 1 by 60 meters. So it will calculate that automatically. 1 by 24, 1 by 60, it will calculate automatically. Okay. So now let's run it again. Okay, earlier I was still in play mode, I did not stop it. Now you see, it's going very slow. Okay, but we don't want it so slow. So we will increase this number now. So let's make it say 20. Okay. Okay, little faster but not too fast. So this is one way. Okay, now this 001 which we did earlier, this is a vector, a default vector, which is called, okay, so let me, vector 3 dot forward. So what do we mean by that? Vector 3 dot forward is nothing but 001. Okay. Now So instead of giving actual numbers 0, 0, 1, we can use this vector 3 dot forward. Okay, so this will behave exactly as it behaved when we gave 0, 0, 1. So let's see. Okay, it behaved exactly like that. Now we can apply this time dot delta time and multiplication with 20 to this vector 3. Okay, and okay, so when there are default vectors, it is better to use those default vectors. If you don't have a default vector, you use the actual numbers, but when you have default vectors, you can use those default vectors. Now similarly, there are all kinds of vectors: vector 3 dot forward, vector 3 dot backward, vector 3 dot up, down, right, left. So let me make it right. Okay, so then along which axis will it move? The road is z-axis, x-axis. Okay, so it will move right. So let's play it. You see, it's moving right. You can say backward, you can say up, down, you can say up. It will move along the y-axis. Okay, it's going like that. Okay, so you have different vectors like this. If it is 0, 0, 1, it is forward. If it is 0, 1, 0, it is up. If it is 1, 0, 0, it is right. Similarly, minus 1 will give you the opposite: backward, down, and left. Okay. Okay, just 5 more minutes. Now this vehicle, when we say, even when we say vector 3 dot up, it is going up indefinitely. It is never coming back, but ideally it should come back, right, if gravity is there. Okay, so let's add gravity to it. Or before I add gravity, yes, yeah, so let's add gravity to it. How to add gravity? So what we will do, so you are already in the vehicle. Okay, now click on add component and physics and rigid body. Okay, that is, now you are giving it rigid body properties. That is, it is a solid object and it has weight and mass and all those things, and it should behave according to the gravitational principles. Now since you added that, now even if I give vector 3 dot up, it will go up and fall down after some time. You see, it is falling. Earlier it was not falling, it was just going up. Okay, now since we made it a rigid body, it is falling again. So rigid body automatically adds gravity to the object. Fine. Now let us add, okay, another thing, if you had noticed, so far it has been, okay, not up. Now let me give forward. So let's see how it interacts with the obstacle now. Earlier it was just passing through the obstacle. It was not hitting. It was not displacing the obstacle. It was just passing through it. Now let us see what it will do. It just sort of vanished. It is going below into the road. So actually let me change the scene view. Okay, let's see now. You see? So to avoid this, what we need to do, we need to make the obstacle also rigid body. Okay. So click on the obstacle, and to the obstacle add component physics rigid body. Okay. Now let us test it. You see, now both are behaving like physical objects. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, but the obstacle should fly away. Okay, fly more. Okay, so for that I need to increase the mass of the vehicle, because in reality vehicle's mass is more. So go back to the vehicle. In the rigid body component, increase its mass to something, say 50. Okay, and click on it. They have class. Okay. Yeah, it behaves more naturally now. Okay, so class unda? Then fine. So 2 more minutes. Okay, so this is done. Okay, now let's add more obstacles. Let's duplicate this obstacle. So one simple way is, so first of all let me rename this. You can rename it here, or you can right click on this and select rename. Okay. Now let's copy this. All you need to do is press Ctrl D when you are on when you selected an object in the hierarchy. Press Ctrl D or Command D. You can press it any number of times. So many obstacles are being created, but all of them are being created at this position itself. So you need to separate them. So come back to the move tool. So just drag them. Okay, so you got 3 obstacles. Now what we will do, we will select all 3 and duplicate them together. So again Command D. Okay, now again you need to separate all 3. So I will lift them, move them. So move the scene. Select the objects and place them back. Okay, so I got my objects. All right, now let me play. Okay, yeah, that's it. We created a basic game with some simple animations. All right. Okay, so let's stop here.